Hey, this is Reverend Bill, and today is Saturday. Um, I'm not sure. I guess the 8th of March. I don't know. Um, I want to do part two of Andor. I watched it last night. I binge watched it. Um, I really enjoyed it. I don't know why they can't do this all the time. First thing I noticed is there was no lightsaber fights. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up. I'm part of the original Star Wars uh, age bracket. I was in line for like 5 times watching it. I loved it. Nothing wrong with lightsaber fights when they're done well, but they've been done so poorly lately. The last thing I wanted to do was see another clumsy lightsaber fight. So it was nice to see something that was plot driven. Um, the thing that stood out, there's a lot of things that stood out, to be honest with you. And let me just kind of go over the highlights. Um, it wasn't, it was not woke. It was men and women working together. I noticed one of the things that really I liked is that one of the leader of the women, I'm not going to give away plot points, although, a lot of people didn't see it. So, in case you didn't see it, you should. But one of the women started, was at a crucial point in time, started doubting herself, which is normal. I mean, it's not a weakness, really. I mean, if you're going to do right on the verge of doing something really important, she was hesitating. And I thought, boy, you would never see that in Disney Plus nowadays. But it was good. It showed that, she was a real person who had real doubts about taking real lives. Outstanding. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I like people, both men and women, to show a little bit of weakness or a little uncertainty. It's like, should we really go in and do all this and have innocents killed? That was pretty good. Um, I also there was by the way, for the parents out there, there was a little implied homosexuality. I'm a reverend, so not naturally I discourage that kind of stuff. This stuff I would think could probably go over the heads of most children. I don't think it's an issue here. Um, but yeah, so anyway, I want to get that out of the way. Another scene where a woman got into trouble uh, laundering money. She went, I don't want to get into the plot details, but she went and she got herself a little deep into trouble um, laundering money around, and she had to go to gasp a man for help, and some guy came in with the solution, and that was pretty interesting. The very fact that again, that would not be something you'd ordinarily see. And the guy he wasn't in there mansplaining. He was in there negotiating person to person. So it's not like, he came in on his horse and rescued her. He realized her situation, and, they sat down, they bargained, person to person, man to man, whatever to call it. Um, there was actually two, and I mentioned this earlier on with my first part. There was a part one, and then I stopped it because I saw them going to a different plot. So that's when I went, to part two. But there's actually two plots, I think, in the second part. It shifts gears again, which is pretty interesting that he did that. But there were some scenes that was very unique and different. It was a very intelligent season. There were some scenes in a prison where they had a special way of keeping prisoners in line that was very, very interesting. And then there was the wrestling with they had prisoners actually in charge of other prisoners, and then you have the lead prisoner, I guess, who was kind of like selling out because the imperial forces basically made him uh, you know keep his own forces in line, and he was struggling with, am I a prisoner or am I a boss man? And that showed humanity struggle, which was great, which was really good. I like that. Like I said, this was a lot of thought was given into this, and I wish more Star Wars shows were like that. One thing I got to mention, though, the Imperial fleet was wearing those MC Hammer pants from Can't Touch This. I don't know, those genie. I don't know what was going on with that. I kept them expecting them to break out in a dance. It's Hammer time, but no, that was kind of humorous. So let's see what else. Yeah, that there was a B a droid I mentioned, which was very strange. Again, I'm not sure what value he had as a droid. It was almost like he was, the redheaded stepchild or something. He was a cross between R2D2 and the robot from Lost in Space. The original, the good one. Just it was he was fine. I just didn't know what he was supposed to be doing there, apart from whining and stuttering. But I always thought he was okay. I mean, I kind of thought he grew on me a little bit, I guess. Um, the movie just seemed like it was just a big chess game. There was a lot of backstabbing. There was a lot of people doing things, wondering what their motives were. In other words, it made you think, which hasn't happened in a Disney Plus show in I don't know how long. Um, I do want to say that in the last 10 minutes, the motivations of some people I wasn't clear on. Uh, Not a big deal, but I saw people behaving in a way, and I'm thinking, oh, is he going to betray him or not? And at the end of the show, I still don't know whether he was going to betray him or not. Um, but like I said, I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking here. It's not a big deal. I just thought they could be a little bit clearer on what people were doing and their motives. Um, yeah, there was some scenes that I wish I knew more about. As I made a little comment here, there were extreme scenes I would have liked to have been explained to me a little bit more. They set up for season two very, very well. I really like the characters in Andor. I'm looking forward to season two. I'm going to watch season two. I liked it so much, as a matter of fact, that when I was finished, I put on Rogue One again. And it's kind of interesting. The characters weren't completely fleshed out. So there was some differences and inconsistencies, but you'd expect that because when they did Rogue One, they probably did not expect to do Andor. When you're doing a TV show, it's you're not doing a 2-hour movie. You're doing whatever it is. What was it? I think was it 12 episodes maybe, or I think it was like 12. Yeah. So you're doing 10 to 12 hours. It's a lot different than when you're just doing a 2-hour movie. Although what's with Disney and their 2.5-hour movies? This was like 2 hours and 60 minutes. Rogue One I'm talking about now. I just find that ridiculous. I mean, unless you're doing a Godfather movie, I think an hour and 40 should suffice. But I worked in a movie theater. You never did anything over 2 minutes unless it was really big, like Platoon. But I gotta make another comment too. Going off the show and going to Rogue One, Felicity Jones is such a pleasure to watch, as compared to Daisy Ridley. I mean, she wasn't overbearing. She was cute. She was tough. Um, Watching it, it's like they had the formula down with Rogue One, and Andor. I don't know why they just can't put it together. If I had my druthers, I would cancel everything, and I would just use Andor as a franchise for about 5 years until people forget about all the nightmares, 5 to 10 years, and just all that stuff, flush it away. It's crap, is what it is. But yeah, no, Andor is a very thoughtful, intelligent movie, a show, and movie. By the way, I like Rogue One. Yeah, no, and I'm looking forward to season two. So to season two. So that's it for me. I would give it an H2, to be honest with you. So, what I would recommend is if you get a chance to see it, see it. It's on Disney Plus. And if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't, well, I thank you for your time and have a great rest of the weekend. Bye.